flip chart. It is such a good guide on exactly what to say, how to say, and when to say it. And so I'm also going to just share a lot of kind of like little tips and things that I do in the flip chart and with the flip chart to be able to help you use it the best that you can. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. This is be the first page. Your binder is in your starter kit. It comes with a 3-ring binder. It's beautiful, nice and hefty. It has a magnetic flap on the base of it so that you can actually flip it to the side of your, like bend it backwards almost, and it magnetically connects to the one page of the binder that you're able to set it up and use it in front of you as photos are looking towards your guest, and what you need to say is looking towards you. So your guest won't even know that you're literally using it as your guide, which is the beauty of it. So this is the photo that is going to be towards your guest, and it's the satin body, the satin lips, and the satin hands. So that's going to be towards the guest, and this part here is going to be towards you. So what I love about it, this is the before the party checklist. So it literally tells you everything you need to do before everyone arrives, while you're at your guest house, or if it's at your house, getting everything ready. So if you're going to your guest house, you're going to want to arrive, it says 30 minutes early. Sometimes if it's only a facial, maybe you don't have to arrive quite as early. It could be maybe 10 minutes early just to get everything ready. But it says here at the very beginning, give us a sincere compliment and gratitude to the hostess or to your, like the lady that's going to be getting the facial. Make her feel like $1,000,000. What I always like to tell my consultants is make conversation, ask questions, know who she is, where she works at, what she does. Start the conversation. Your guests are not going to do that conversation. You are going to be the one that needs to lead that conversation and ask those questions. Here it says, when you arrive, the hostess typically asks, may I help you with anything, or what do you need? So, have the table or the area or the sofa on the floor, wherever you're going to be doing your pampering, know where that's going to be. Then also have maybe a separate area where you can have your individual conversations after the pampering. And then also ask her maybe, who is coming that she thinks would be really great at doing this. Just getting her feedback from her point of view. And then let her know that, she'll get an extra gift if there's anyone that ends up joining the team from her pampering tonight. Now, the next fun thing is setting up your individual consultation area away from the table. Make sure you have a money bag, your date book. I love that it gives these ideas here. Sales slips, a calculator, and the product. I keep my product in the trunk of my car or inside the car. I don't bring it all inside unless it is at my house. Then I have all of it there and I don't have to have it, in the car, obviously. And I just keep all of my product in the boxes. There's a few Mary Kay bags that you can get from Mary Kay and Touch, but I keep all of it in my boxes. I keep it super simple and easy. You want to make sure you have a money bag with cash in it to be able to make change. So some ones, change, some 5s and 10s. So keep that near you. All right, then it says, show the hostess how to do the satin hands demo. Let your hostess help you a little bit while as the guests arrive. For each guest as they arrive, show her how to do it. The satin hands, step 1, the 2, the exfoliating, and then 3, the hand cream. So show her how to do that. That way she can do that while you're kind of saying hello to all the guests that are arriving as well. Then it says, set up the skincare party table with the mirror, the tray, the placemat right here, the name on the cards that you have in the starter kit, and the dry eraser markers at each seat. That way they can actually kind of draw on the placemat and then you can erase it later. They can kind of highlight their favorite things that they're liking as you're going through all the products that they're trying. So it's really fun, really great visual for your guests to look at. Then it says, as the guests arrive, greet each guest with a handshake and use her name as you say who she is. So get her name and say, it's so nice to meet you. This is really important. At any Mary Kay facial, we always start off with a handshake and we end with a hug. So that is something really important to remember. Make sure you extend your hand. You take the initiative. You're going to be leading the whole pampering. So don't wait for them to shake your hand. You go ahead and take that step of, asking each person what their name is, what they do. Get to know each and every person individually. Then it says here, if you did not pre-profile your guest before the party, hand them a customer profile and a pen after they do the satin hands, and encourage them to sit down and fill it out while you're filling the trays with the product. And so this is also a great time that you can, it says match their shade, but I actually am going to tell you the best time when I match their shade, and I'll tell you my little fun trick for that. So, but you do want everyone to sit down and start to fill out that customer profile. I put it in front of every tray and mirror with the pen right on top so that they can fill it in after they do the satin hands. And then when you have completed this checklist, you flip the page so the Let's Party page faces the guest. So here we go. Here is the Let's Party page, okay? This is the part that's going to be looking towards the guest, and this is the page that's going to be looking towards you. So isn't this cool? At the very top corner here, it shows you how long this part should take. From beginning to the end, it should take about 40 to 45 minutes, and then another little bit after that to talk with each individual guest afterwards. So it says, welcome guests and thank the hostess. So literally what I love, I'm not going to read through all of this, but what I love is get a highlighter and highlight in your book the bold parts, and make sure you say those bold parts. I cannot tell you how important it is. You want to make every single person feel important that is there. That's going to be so key. You need to make sure that you are initiating the conversation, asking the questions, having fun, and be yourself. Oh my goodness. Don't worry about the nerves. Don't worry about doing everything perfect. Just have fun. So then you go ahead and do the second highlighted part. Feel free to read some of the things here on the bottom, but don't be robotic either. That's why when I talk about the flip chart, kind of hit on the bold parts for sure. And then these little tips over here where you see my arrow, as you're kind of doing the conversation, like these tips here, you can, read beforehand and decide which ones you want to use. They're there for your guidance and just to help things flow a little bit easier. So, all right. So then we go ahead and do that. Then you're going to see this picture right here. About Mary Kay. You can tell them a little bit about Mary Kay and who she is. They get to see a picture of her. She was a real lady, all that good stuff. Then this is the part that you're going to be mentioning while they're looking at this picture right here. And again, don't read the tips and feel free to mention those when you're sharing about her. But again, on this page here, to read straight through it is kind of not boring, but you want it to be exciting and interactive. So feel free again to highlight kind of like those bold parts and make sure you mention them. So it just kind of gives you quick references by looking at the bold parts. All right, so then we have this picture here. Again, this is what they're going to be looking at. And this is what you're going to be saying. Pink changing lives and pink doing green. And what I love is, as again, you see the time here. You see the picture that they're seeing there. And then again, I always recommend highlighting the bold parts and make sure you're mentioning those about the pink changing lives and the pink doing green. Really fun information to share. All right, this is the next photo that the ladies are going to see. And this is what you're going to be saying as they're looking at that, the Mary Kay opportunity. So again, highlight the bold parts with a marker, like a fluorescent marker, and use them as your guide of what to say so that it only lasts a minute to 2 minutes. Again, when we're doing all of these pages here at the beginning, you want to kind of keep it going. Then a little bit about you. This is really key here, so you don't want to skip this part. And you want to make sure you fill your I story out, and you want it to be powerful. You want it to be interesting. You want it to be short and sweet. So you share a little bit about your how long have you been in Mary Kay? If you're new, say, I am new at this, so I'm so grateful that you're letting me practice on you. Like, feel free to share that, and maybe think, what is your mission going to be? What is your vision going to be? What is one of your goals right now as a new consultant? So feel free to fill those in and share them. Be you. Number 2, thank them from the bottom of your heart for them being there and practicing on you. And then number 3, make sure you do your I story. What were you doing before your Mary Kay business? What are you currently doing? If you, if you're working and you're sprinkling Mary Kay in around your schedule, mention that right here. And then number 4, What is some of the things that you are loving right now with doing Mary Kay? And number five, you can feel free to mention a little bit of that as well. So, doing your eye story is super key. You do it at every single appointment. So, fill this out and make sure you have learned it down pat. All right, then after that, you are going to go ahead into this photo here. This is what they're going to be seeing. And this is what you are going to be saying while they're looking at this page, what you offer your customers. Again, here, what I love to do is I mention the highlighted bold parts. So I make it nice, quick, short, and easy and to the point. Like again, I want it to be interactive, so I try to keep some of these things quick and short and fun and interesting, and I highlight the bold parts. All right, so right here, today is your day. This is the photo that they're going to be seeing, and this is what you're going to say a little bit just right before we get into the skincare. Just some fun things that you can share, literally less than a minute, so don't talk a lot on this page. Okay, so here is where it shows kind of like getting into the whole facial. So they have already done their hands. Their hands should be feeling so, so great. And so what I love is we start to go into the skincare part. And this is what I do. Everything that we have talked through up from the beginning until now is what I do at every single first appointment. Our first appointments are all skincare, the satin hands, the skincare, the satin lips, and you finish with the CC cream. The second appointments are always the customized color look that is already in your starter kit. And as you continue to grow, then you can offer other different kind of fun second pamperings. But the first pampering, when I ever meet anyone for the first time, this is exactly what I do. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the Miracle 3D set. And this is what you're going to say when they're looking at that page. Again, highlight the bold. You guys are getting the gist of it. Highlight the bold and just, use that as your guide. Okay, so then you start to have them do the 4-in-1 cleanser. So what I do is I hold the bottle in my hand, just like in the photo. I hold the bottle in my hand and I talk about the 4-in-1 cleanser while they're putting it on. So that way you're keeping it moving along and you're not saying everything about the bottle before they put it on. Like let them start to put the product on their face while you tell them about the product. That way it keeps things moving along. And then this is the page of what to say about the cleanser. And it is so great. Now, granted, you're not going to sit there and read everything. So again, read through it beforehand, before you do your facials, highlight the main parts that you want to say, and just hit on those highlighted parts. All right, then we're going to go into the day cream, or if you're doing it at night, maybe they want to put the night cream on, that's okay too. So you're going to go ahead and have them look at that page, or that's the page that's going to be showing that they're going to be able to look at while they're applying it on. You can highlight the bold parts, and that's what you want to mention about the day and the night cream while they're putting that on. And then you go to the eye cream. Okay, so that's going to be looking towards your guest, and this is what's going to be said about the eye cream. And as you see in number 5, keep asking them how their skin feels. By now, their skin's going to feel amazing. Okay, so in this first pampering, one of the things that I love to add in is doing the microdermabrasion. So I will normally add that in right after they do the 4-in-1 cleanser. I will add in the microdermabrasion. And as you see here in the flip chart, right here's the cleanser. Talks about the cleanser, but there's no microdermabrasion. So I would put it in right there. So if you want to write in your notes, this is where I would do the microdermabrasion step 1. And then as soon as they wipe it off, I put the microdermabrasion step 2 on, and then I go to this page right here. So that is where I add that in. That's just a favorite. I absolutely love doing that one at the first pampering because ladies just love the feeling of it. Then after you do the eye cream that you see highlighted here, before I go into the foundation, I will go ahead and do the satin lips game. So again, it is not here in the flip chart in this order, but I find it's a really good place to do it. And the satin lips is where you do the scrub first. And during the scrub, I have them put the scrub on. They just did the eye cream. I'm going to have them do the scrub on their lips. And what I love doing is I love mentioning that when they do the scrub on their lips, they get a chance to play a fun game and to win a fun little prize. And I normally will say, okay, now we're going to play a fun little game. Who loves being competitive? And I just see who likes to have fun, be fun and energetic. And I'll ask them, now this is the time where they're going to flip their profile to the back of to the back. And on the one side, they're going to see a place where there's a whole bunch of lines to be able to play the game. And so that's what I use. I use that profile sheet. And so on that sheet, I am going to say, okay, so here's how we're going to play the game. Now that the scrub is on your lips, we need to let it sit for a few minutes and we're going to play a fun game and someone's going to win a prize. And then I say, so here's what we're going to do. Right now, you're going to get a chance to bless some ladies in your life, and you're going to get a chance to make them feel so special and appreciated. And so when I say go, you're going to use your phone and you're going to write anyone down that's 18 or older within an hour radius. Now with, being able to do so much on Zoom, after the pandemic, you are able to do a lot virtually on Zoom as well. So you can just say, just anyone that is 18 or older that you would love to gift this pampering to, they're going to get it completely free as a gift from you. And so I tell them to get their phones out, and when they say go, I say for every name and number that you give, you're going to get a point. And when the time I say stop, whoever has the most points is going to get the gift. It just makes it fun and interactive while the scrub is sitting on their lips for a few minutes. So then I say go. After I start to see the girls are starting to slow down and not writing as many names, then I will say stop. So I don't give a time limit. I just kind of let them take as long as they continue to write names. So a lot of times I will get over 20, 30 names each person from playing that game. While that is going on, this is when I go around and I match their CC cream. And I also will do a foundation primer, the under eye corrector, and the concealer. So I normally just do all four of them while they're playing the game, and it just works out really well. That way you're not spending all of that time beforehand when guests are arriving. You're using your time in a wise way where it doesn't take as long and your pamperings are shorter. So the guests are playing the game, they have this scrub on their lips, and then I go around and I match their CC cream. I give everyone the primer, the under eye corrector, and the concealer. Now, the under eye corrector, the concealer, and the primer are not in your starter kit, so that's something that you can do eventually when you get those items on hand to add into the first pampering if you want. But again, that's optional. So then the time is up. I have them stop writing any name and numbers down. We count them up. I give the highest girl a prize for blessing the most ladies. And then I have them take the scrub off and they put on the Satin Lips lip balm, the hydrating lip shea butter balm, and then they put that on their lips. And then we jump right into finishing with the CC cream that is in your starter kit. And if you want, there is a translucent loose powder there in your starter kit as well. I normally just do that at the second customized color look. I like to keep it very simple, short, and sweet. Okay, so while they are doing the CC cream, again, you can just kind of talk about some of the highlighted parts of the CC cream. And then it's super key. I love how it shows it right here, the follow-up. So from the very beginning of your pampering, multiple times throughout your pampering, you're going to mention that they get a free second follow-up customized color look or second appointment. And it's important to say it at least 7 times throughout. So I normally say it at the very beginning when guests are sitting there and I'm giving the welcome, and I just thank them for coming and I let them know that for being there, they're going to get a second free appointment just for being there. And it's going to be so fun. And so I mention it there and then throughout the pampering a couple times. A lot of times if someone's like, oh my goodness, like I would love to try a color look, or do you have eyeliner, do you have mascara? I will say, oh my goodness, we're not going to do that today because we're doing all the skincare, but we get to do that at your customized color look. And so I keep mentioning that follow-up appointment at least 7 times throughout the whole pampering. So then they put on the CC cream. Once you get the primer, the under eye corrector, and concealer, the order of that, when I have this page looking towards them, I will have them put the primer on, then they put the CC cream on, Then they'll do the under eye corrector and the concealer. So I looked this up. Mary Kay actually designed the under eye corrector and the concealer to be on top, to go on top of the CC cream. That way they also use a little bit less of the under eye corrector and the concealer, since the CC cream will help to hide obviously some of the redness and even the skin out. So then from there, I personally will skip. You can mention the different kind of skincares that we have. So that's just a few things about that. I normally mention these things when I go through the sets at the very end. And then this one right here is actually just when you're talking a little bit about the follow-up, about their customized color look that they can get. And then this Hello Beautiful, I wish there would be a way to move it right in between, like right before the CC cream. But the way the pages are designed, you can't do that. So that's actually what this Hello Beautiful page is for, is when you do the referrals. Okay. And then there's a little bit of compliment time that you can do at the very end and see what products they loved the most. It's always fun to hear that. And there's the beauty of friendship. Sorry, the beauty of friendship is the referral game. The Hello Beautiful is a little bit of a compliment. The Hello Beautiful is a little bit of a compliment time. And then we go to this page here. They get to look at that page while you go through the table close. So again, highlight the bold parts, and you want to talk about the table close. Now, with the table close, one thing that I love to do is you have a placemat that is in your starter kit that has like the sets on there. So you can use that to go through that. And then I also normally have a printout of the starter kit, and that is also one of the specials that I mention and I show, and each person has a picture of that also at their placemat of the starter kit. Super key, because I use both of them as options of what they can do. So here is again another table close, the second part of the table close. That just talks a little bit about comparing, some of the product that they love to, some outfits and stuff that they probably spent that they've never ever used. So you can kind of have fun using that as a comparison. And then the I appreciate you will look towards the guest. And the side that we'll see is a lead into the individual consultations. So again, read through the highlighted parts and you want to say those. And then it just says we'll get started with the individual consultations. Grab your purse and the customer profile and the placemat right down here. And we'll be back in a minute. And literally you just want to start with the person that's the most excited. And that's the tip right there. So then what I love is you can take your little flip chart with you, and this page is looking towards her, and it tells you every single question to ask as you talk with her. And again, when you're doing this, keep the dollar signs out of your eyes. Just listen to what she says, ask these questions, and just have fun getting her feedback. So it says, number 1, did you have a good time today? Nod your head yes while you're asking that question. And she's going to be like, yeah, absolutely. And, ask her, how does your face feel? And you touch your face at the same time you're asking her that question. And then she's going to put her fingers on her face and touch it. And it's going to remind her how wonderful her face feels. Then you're going to say, do you have any questions for me about what we tried, or maybe about her skin? Like, is there any issues that she would love to just kind of dive in a little bit deeper with, now that you're kind of a little bit off to the side and not everyone's going to hear? And that's just something, really important to do, because it really opens a conversation of like helping to try to find whatever issues she's having with her skin. So then you're going to ask her, so what did you love best about the miracle set that she tried? And then you listen to her responses. And then number 5, did you circle the favorite sets on your placemat? And you're going to ask, if money was no objection, which ones would you take home today? Or what would you, first ask, what would she take home today? And then from there, you're going to ask her, what would you most comfortably love to grab and take home with you? And then, as you see here, you take out your sales slip and you start writing. And this one is really key. You just keep asking, what else would she love? What else would she love, until she says, I am done. So you don't decide to stop when you feel she's done, if she's going to keep adding things to her order and you keep talking about different issues that she had and you can make recommendations, you keep adding things on your sales slip. The other thing that I love doing is I love showing them the placemat while they're talking about things that they want, and remind them if they picked two sets, they can get a third at half off, or if they picked 4 sets, they get the roll-up bag free. So help remind them and point them to different things that they love to fill out their sales slip. And then you keep asking, is there anything else you'd like to add? You keep adding until she stops. Then total up the sales and the tax and PA, it is 6%. So you're going to do the subtotal times 0.06, and that's going to give you your tax, and then you add them together. And then you ask her how she would like to take care of it. If you want to do check, cash, Visa, MasterCard, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, whatever ways you want to offer that she can pay. As for checks, the only thing about checks is, nowadays with all of the Venmo, the other different kind of apps that you can use, checks, if they would bounce, you just have to be okay with that. So checks is kind of like, for me, like one of the last options that I use, but you can use checks as well. And so then you're going to go ahead and you take her payment, you close it out, you add it up, you make sure she pays, and then you move on to the next page in the flip chart. Do not do anything else until she has paid. You write it in her order and all of that. And do not go get the product yet, okay? So hold tight. Then you're going to flip to this page, and then you're going to go ahead and continue with the next questions. So after you complete and you finish the sale, then you are going to do the second follow-up appointment. This is so key. Don't skip this at all, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what your head is telling you. You want to make sure you set the second appointment up. You always want to book from your bookings, and it just keeps your date book full. So you're going to go ahead with the follow-up appointment, and you're going to ask her what usually is best for her, morning, afternoon, or evening. And then you're going to give her 2 options, what is available for you as a consultant. You always give what times you are willing to work, not what only works for her. And one of the things that I remember learning from another director was, if your pampering was like on a Friday night at 7 o'clock, see if that same Friday night the following week will work for her, and start with like a date like that. Or give the 2 closest dates that work for you. And if none of them do, then just remember the day and the time that you're with her and just move that out a week and see if that same day and time works for her. And then have her write down her name, phone number, and address in the time slot of your date book right away. Okay? Now, let's say if she says no, she doesn't want a second follow appointment, then go to question number 2. Say, it's absolutely fine if you don't want to have a follow-up appointment. You can still be my customer for life. The products are guaranteed, and that's why we recommend doing a checkup from the neck up. Plus, you can let her know that if there's anything that you can let her know that if she does even do a second up follow-up, it's going to help the hostess get some credit as well. So just even mentioning that always encourages the guest to want to help their friend as well. And then number 3, they can share their follow-up with a few friends. So notice that number 1 is done first. You set the date and the time just with her first, and then you're going to mention that she can have some friends, just like their hostess did, and earn some fun credits and rewards or things to get, or they can earn product free as a gift. And this is really great. This part here is really great. Let's say they decide not to purchase anything for some reason. Mary Kay always said that they can earn it free as a gift by having a fun pampering. So you can always mention that as a way to kind of bridge that gap from, let's say they loved the miracle set, but they didn't financially want to do that. They can have a fun pampering with some ladies, and she can earn it free or super discounted. So that you can mention after you have set the date and time if she wants to have some friends join her. And then it talks about the Mary Kay opportunity and grabbing coffee. Super key again, the last question. This is so key as well. If they did not sign up right then and there with that starter kit option, you want to make sure that you set a date and a time that she can either grab coffee, that you could send her a video and you can do some feedback with her over the phone or in person, grabbing coffee. And this is how you share the Mary Kay opportunity as well. So that one, again, that is another one that no matter what your head is telling you, just ask. There is nothing wrong with asking. If she doesn't want to, that is okay. There's no worries if she can't. So just have fun asking and sharing from your heart, because Mary Kay always asks that we share the opportunity. And what better way than to just share like how it's blessed your life with her, and have new team members on your team. So with that, then that is literally where everything finishes. And then once I go through everyone, collect everyone's sales, then I go and get all of their product unless someone has to leave beforehand. And so that is the order, the whole idea of how to hold your very first appointment. And to be honest, you want to follow the same guide for every single appointment, except just the items that they're putting on, the product that they're putting on is what changes. And so here at the bottom, the back part of the flip chart, it talks about the botanicals, the clear proof. So if you have different pamperings where you're doing different product, you can show those photos, but the whole idea of the beginning, the middle, and the end of the party is the same idea. So that doesn't change. Only the product changes that you show. So I hope this helped with how to use the flip chart. Use it at every single appointment as your guide. Tells you everything to say, and I hope this was helpful for you.